In pursuing Mr. Scavino, Mr. Navarro, I mean, how many attempts did you make to get them to come in, testify, turn over documents? I mean, any estimate on that?
Well, I can give you the specific. Each one received a letter before we issued the subpoena. Subpoena was issued. In one instance, we negotiated with Mr. Scavino's lawyer for quite a while. And at some point, it became obvious he wasn't coming in. Mr. Navarro never responded at all.
Never?
Never.
Just ignored you completely?
Absolutely.
And I think we've had a couple other instances, you mentioned that, but, I mean, you said in dozens and dozens of other cases, people have responded, have either come in and asserted their rights or come in and answered and turned over documents. Is that true?
That's correct. We've interviewed over 700, we've had depositions of over 700 witnesses. And for the most part, everyone's cooperated with us. Some we're still in the process of working with, but nothing as flagrant as these two gentlemen here.
So you've had over 700 with it. I think we've issued a couple other contempts out of this committee and then off the floor. And now these two out of 700 requests, and they don't give you any reason why. You said they haven't asserted a privilege, they haven't even come in to assert their privilege.
That's correct. One did nothing, the other alluded to it, but that privilege assertion obviously comes with some authority by the current president. And President Biden has indicated he would not assert any of those executive privileges.
Well, I think this comes down to what the chairman was talking about, which is uncovering the truth. Now, in my opinion, we have a massive betrayal of the country here and the way we function and the way we operate. And the ability of each and every American to have a say in how their government is built and developed. And I'm going to support this this request for these subpoenas. I just appreciate the two of you and your committee's pursuit of protecting the Constitution and the rule of law. With that, I'll yield back.
I think Vice Chair Cheney wanted to add something.
Please.
No, that's all right. I think it is important to make sure the record accurately reflects the number of individuals who've actually been held in contempt. Steve Bannon was held in contempt, and the Department of Justice indicted him, and his trial is coming up, I believe, in July, and he's the first Department of Justice indictment for criminal contempt in over 40 years. Mr. Meadows was held in contempt. The Justice Department is still working on Mr. Meadows, and as the chairman said, that's up to the Justice Department. We obviously have our very clear views about that. Mr. Clark, who we came before this committee to discuss the possibility of Mr. Clark being in contempt, once we did that, Mr. Clark then asked to come in, and he came in and asserted the fifth. And so he has not been referred. We did not go to the full House with that. So I think the notion that somehow, I'm not sure what my colleagues on the Republican side are getting at in terms of numbers of people referred to the Justice Department, but this is a very clear case. Two individuals with clear information that's relevant to the committee, and there is no standard under law by which you can simply say, I'm not coming because somebody told me not to, even if that person's the former president of the United States. If they believe that answers to those questions will be covered by executive privilege, then they need to come in and say that. You can't just refuse to respond to a congressional subpoena. So this is really a very clear case, and nobody should be playing politics with it.
Right, and I would just thank you for adding that. I mean, the notion that we would just turn a blind eye, as the chairman said, to try to just forget about it, sweep this under the rug, is just so appalling and so disturbing. I just thank you again for pursuing this. I yield back.
Thank you. Mr.